Jump over.
More bubbles. It's all over me now as well.
So we've got a legend here. That's the one you're top. It's a legend.
Excited.
They're all on that side for us at the moment. So we've got 6 boys in here with us.
Come on. Come on. Take over filming.
Sorry, I'm just going to keep an eye on them. It's a little bit naughty.
It's following you. It's coming to see what's happening. See him? Phoebe, Isla, we don't progress
I
at
am
them.
going to watch him. He is a naughty one, so I am going to.
A bit cheeky, that one. Stop filming now if you want.
Wallaby code. There's a native small kangaroo from the UK, isn't there? Somewhere in the Midlands. Very small though. So
Push, push, push. Now turn. Now turn. Ready? Go. Go, 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 go. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up and push.
I need someone to start posting it. Come yes. I'm going to get you. I'll have two. I'll have half. Okay. Okay, then you hold. I need someone to hold it. You hold it. I'm going to pump as much water as I can. Oh my God. Hey! Ronnie, don't get wet, because if you get wet, you can't go inside. Oh my God. Yes, now! 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 Can I help? Carry on. Okay, one of you take that. I do it, and you Bonnie, you're taking the next one and I'll come. Okay? I'll come. Let's go really fast. I'll give you a head start. Okay, there. Good. I'm pulling as hard as I can. Me too. Orange, yes!
Yeah, I ripped up, I pulled off her t-shirt. Stopping us getting in there. Yeah, it's because you got sand like
That's good. Come on.
Oh,
No, the tracksuit that was wearing the clip in.
but I'm trying.
Can I please try? Yes. Working. This is meant to work. What do you do here? Look.
Right, well, a very good morning. Thanks very much for coming along to Hobbledown today. I hope that you'll enjoy the rest of your visit. For now, though, welcome to the Raptor Centre. It was founded back in 1977 by my late husband. He started it with one intention, and that is to help birds of prey in the wild in as many ways as possible. Rescue work, breeding programmes, release schemes, they've all helped over the last 40-odd years, but the flying demonstrations are just as important. The reason being is that there are so many people that think birds of prey are nasty, and they're vicious and they're dangerous, and they're going to peck your eyes out and fly off with the nearest baby. Oh my goodness. The problem is though, there are people out there that believe that. And if you believe something like that about any creature at all, that creature doesn't stand any chance of survival. So for the last 40-odd years, what we've tried to do is to work the birds in demonstrations so that people can see for themselves what they're like. And hopefully we can encourage people to understand them and ultimately to care about them, because no creature stands any chance of survival unless there are human beings that care. Ladies and gentlemen, the 11:30 is always the same. It's an owls demonstration. The first owl I'd like you to meet is Nova. Nova is a Ural owl. Now you find the Ural owl in parts of Scandinavia, across Russia and as far east as Japan. Nova, however, he's never seen that part of the world. He was bred by a friend of mine up in Norfolk just 4.5 months ago. Ladies and gentlemen, indeed, he's still very much a little baby. Now he came to live with me when he was 4 weeks old, and at 4 weeks he was a decent handful and all fluff. Now, birds of prey grow very, very fast, and by the time Nova was about 10 weeks old, he was already this size. His wing feathers and his tail feathers had completely finished developing, and he was able to fly. Can I go run that one right over there? That big one over there. 5 mates. Yeah? No, not that one, that one. That one, there. There. No, that's not that. That's perch, there. Ladies and gentlemen, at 10 weeks, although he was able to fly with his flight feathers, what he lacked was his body feathers. Now, don't get me wrong, he wasn't bald. He was just covered in down. All down his back, down his front, and on top of his head as well. And today, at 4.5 months old, mostly he's covered now in his grown-up feathers. But there is still a little bit of a fluffy head going on, and that is still the baby down. I reckon within the next few weeks or so, that will have been completely replaced by feathers. Well done. Now, Nova has been coming out here, and he's been working in these demonstrations since he was about 7 or 8 weeks old. Now, at that point, he was unable to fly, but he could make big jumps to the glove. But the most important reason for bringing him out here is from such an early age is so that he learns to accept everything that's going on around him. The last thing I want is for him to become fully grown. Then I start asking him to work, and all of a sudden he says, oh, well, I don't like that over there, and I don't like this over here, and this over there frightens me as well. So from bringing him out at such a young age, it means that he's grown up with everything, and he's, generally speaking, he's not worried or upset by what's going on around him. Now, Nova, he comes out here, he does a little bit in the demonstrations, but he's also one of my experienced birds. So if you book a handling session or a flying session, chances are Nova is one of those birds that you would indeed get to work. Ladies and gentlemen, now, although I've had Nova since he was a baby, 4 weeks old, it's important to understand what he's doing and why he's doing it. Ladies and gentlemen, he's not flying to me because he loves me or because he loves me. He's doing it because I'm paying him to. Every single time he lands on my glove, I pay him with a piece of food. It's his wages. Ladies and gentlemen, every single creature on the planet needs to earn a living. Now, it doesn't matter if you're an ant, a human being, or a bird of prey. You've got to find your food from somewhere. Now, if you'll pardon the pun, Nova is as free as a bird. He could jump into the air, flap his little wings, disappear, and never come back. But if he does that, he still needs to survive. Now, in order to survive, he needs to find his food, he needs to chase it, he needs to catch it, and he needs to kill it, all before he can begin eating. But the food that I provide here, it's already dead, it's not going anywhere. It's a lot easier for him to catch, and that's the only reason that he considers staying and working in these demonstrations. Now, the crucial word there, of course, is work. As I've already mentioned, he's not doing it for fun, he's doing it because it's his job, because I'm paying him to. Ladies and gentlemen, that means that the relationship between myself and the bird is incredibly professional. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not owner and pet. What it is employer-employee. Remember, I'm paying Nova to work. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of his exercise period, he's going to head back off to his travelling box, and I'm going to say thank you to him. I think it's the right thing to do, to thank my team for coming out here and working. Ladies and gentlemen, the way in which I do that is crucial. Remember, I'm the employer. That means there must be, under no circumstances, any kind of touching or stroking. Because, come on, be fair, if you go to work one afternoon and your boss wanders up to you and starts patting you on your head because you've done really, really well, you're not going travelling box and I pay them a bonus. It's a big piece of food that the bird doesn't need to work for, doesn't need to eat it on my glove or in front of you. It's something that the bird can enjoy in the privacy of its own travelling box. And I just feel that it's a far more respectful way to say thank you to the bird rather than by turning him into a pet and stroking him. Ladies and gentlemen, Nova's just about done his little bit. Do you want this one? Come then. Gets a bit windy. Ladies and gentlemen, he's going to go and enjoy his bonus, and I'm going to move on and fly another bird for you. But for the moment, please give Nova a big round of applause. Right, just give us a couple of moments. Demonstration, I'd like you to meet Ronnie. Ronnie is a burrowing owl. Now you find these birds in parts of North and South America. They favour open landscape, dry landscape, desert, that kind of thing. They're laughing at you, Ronnie. That's not nice. Come on, Ronnie. Hurry up then. Ladies and gentlemen, the burrowing owl, as its name suggests, they spend a lot of their time on the ground. Burrowing, yeah, they want to be under the ground. You know, there are a number of birds of prey that nest on the ground. Generally, the birds will nest up in a tree or on a cliff ledge, anything like that. On the ground, as I've already mentioned, but these are the only ones that like to nest under it. Now, ideally, he's looking for a burrow that's been dug out by another creature. Say, for example, I don't know, a prairie dog. If that burrow's vacant, these birds will more than happily take up residence. However, don't be fooled, because despite their tiny size, these birds are more than capable of digging up to a metre underground in order to create their own burrow. They're not afraid of hard work. They'd just rather not do it if they didn't have to. So because he's living on the ground, he's also looking for prey that's on the ground. Small insects, bugs, beetles, small rodents as well. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a particular creature that they hunt, and I absolutely love it. It's known as the dung beetle. And it's not the beetle itself that I particularly like, it's the way in which these guys are able to catch them. Now, the dung beetle, as its name suggests, it likes poo. Ladies and gentlemen, when the poo has been deposited by, you know, an animal, and let's say it's been sitting outside for a little while, it goes a little bit hard and a little bit crusty on the outside. That, of course, is no use. Come in. So what these birds do is they break it open. They expose that damp, moist poo inside. And by doing that, of course, it starts to smell. And it's the smell that attracts the dung beetles. So these birds don't actively go out and look for the dung beetles. It's kind of a bit of an added bonus if and when they find them. Ladies and gentlemen, very often when I bring Ronnie out here, I normally hear comments about along the lines of, oh look, it's a baby owl, because he's really small. Ladies and gentlemen, birds of prey come in a whole range of shapes and sizes. This is by no means the smallest bird of prey out there. You do get them a bit smaller. But just because he's small doesn't mean that he's a baby, and indeed he's not. Ladies and gentlemen, Ronnie here is 8 years old. Now, as a general rule, the bigger the bird, the longer it lives. Something this size, I would be expecting around about 10 or 12 years, maybe a little bit more if we're really lucky. So Ronnie certainly is becoming an old man. He's definitely getting older as the days are going on, aren't we all? However, he's still plenty of life left in this little thing at the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, Ronnie, like all of the birds, comes out here and he works, not because I'm making him, but because I'm asking him to. I can't force him and I can't make him. Ladies and gentlemen, if he wants to pull a sickie and completely ignore me, there's absolutely nothing that I can do. I bring the birds out here and I merely ask them to take part. Ladies and gentlemen, Ronnie has done his little bit. He is going to head back off to his travelling box, and I am going to pay him that bonus, that big piece of food. Remember the bit he doesn't need to work for. Come on, quickly. Don't stand there and look at me. No, you're not having it down there. Up here. Ladies and gentlemen, he's going to go and enjoy that. And I have got one final owl to share with you. But for the moment, please say thank you to Ronnie, the burrowing owl.
Fly away from her. How did she fly away from her? Why did she fly away from her? Say, come here. Oh, no, he flies back.
Flying over that boy's head, that's not that
Daddy!
Ladies and gentlemen, final owl for this owl's demonstration. I'd like you to meet Fritz. Fritz is a Bengalese eagle owl. He's one of the oldest birds here at the Raptor Centre. He's 18. Ladies and gentlemen, he came to live with me when he was about 7 months old. Now, all those years ago, he was actually part of our rescue service. And we got a telephone call from a lady, and she said, I've got this great big owl. He's sitting in my garden. He's not mine. Don't know where it's come from. Can you please come down and look at it for me? So we went down to the lady's house. And as we pulled up outside, no word of a lie, this little old lady came bursting out of her side garden gate. She's waving her arms frantically in the air at us, shouting, hi, hi, quick, follow me now. He's round the back. He's trying to kill my hose pipe. Okay, well, she led us round the back, and in fairness, she was absolutely right. There was this bird pouncing all over her hose pipe in the garden. Now, we knew that we had to get the bird. It didn't matter how well he was doing or how well he wasn't doing. At the end of the day, he's not a native bird. He's not a wild bird either. And therefore, he's not really allowed to be floating around the countryside on his own. So, all those years ago, I kicked my late husband out. I went, go on, off you go and get the bird for me. And he did. It only took him about 10 minutes or so. He chased the bird round the garden. He chased the bird round the garden, and eventually the bird managed to scramble up onto a fence post. Now, as he did so, his wings hung down by his side, and his head dropped low in front of him. He was absolutely shattered, hadn't been doing very well at all. So we brought the bird home and we started to feed him. Now, birds of prey are incredible creatures. As I was mentioning when I was flying over, no meal in the world is ever guaranteed out there. You've got to work incredibly gentlemen, 6 months later, my world nearly fell apart because the original handler, by pure chance, had finally managed to track down his bird. Now, at this point, you have to split me in half, okay? Half of me was absolutely thrilled that finally we were going to get the ending to the story that we'd always wanted. The other half, well, that was gutted. Ladies and gentlemen, I just spent 6 months with the bird. I nursed him back from death's door, I got him flying free, and I felt for sure that I was just about to lose him. What's that, you? Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I didn't. Now, I won't bore you with the details of that telephone call, but the original handler now lives in South America. He couldn't take the bird with him when he left, and once he realised that we had the bird, but most importantly, it was flying free, he said, that's all I really want. I want the bird to stay with you for the rest of his life. So that's what we've done. We've kept him for the last 18 years. Remember, look at him right now. Ladies and gentlemen, he is as free as a bird. I can't force him to stay with me. I can't make him work. And I certainly cannot stop him from flying away. Ladies and gentlemen, he does that. He makes his own choices, like all of the birds, every single time. Ladies and gentlemen, Fritz is going to bring us towards the end of this demonstration. But a couple of things before you run away. Firstly, if you haven't seen the birds yet, you're more than welcome to go and find them. They're in that massive building just over there. Secondly, I have got handling sessions available today. If you're interested in those, all of the details are on the whiteboard by the 3 largest aprons. Finally though, right at the very end of a demonstration, there is only one thought that I like people to take away with them. And that is that what you have just watched was a flying demonstration. Now, I do hope that you have enjoyed it, but it was a flying demonstration. And if you were watching incredibly closely, you will have noticed that my feet didn't leave the ground once. Ladies and gentlemen, if it's a flying demonstration that you watch, if it's one that you enjoyed, even if it's one you haven't, it doesn't matter.
We don't have any
But what
snaps
does matter
anymore.
is that you always thank the birds for flying in front of you. Don't ever thank somebody like me, because all I am is a handler, and all a handler is a glorified perch for the bird to land on right to the very end. Ladies and gentlemen, I do hope that you have enjoyed meeting Nova the Ural Owl, Ronnie the burrowing owl, and of course Fritz the Bengalese eagle owl. But for now, from them and myself, it's been a pleasure having all of your company. So thank you so much for coming along. It's been great. Thank you.
Yeah?
Knock the ball off before me and you win.
Yeah, you go.
When you are ready?
Oh, sorry, I didn't.
This are. Ready, Sam?
Ronnie, okay. There you go. I'm going to have a go.
I was close to the
Sorry, did you want to throw as well?
Go ahead. I'll go ahead with you. Yeah? Stand back. Come on. So, do you want me to go? Do you want me to hold it? No.
Close to the hole.
No. You sit on the side of me. Sit on the side of me.
No?
Are you guys going to have it? Who's going first?
Way.
I'm going for Nani. Nani's going first.
No, I am.
You guys go.
That was you. Right.
Oh, go quickly, Rahul. Ronnie goes. And then us, and then you. Wait.
This one there. It's an adult rifle.
go.
Mummy.
Whoa! What do you mean you're not the best?
Hey Max, you alright?
You're good at this. You just listen.
Oh, amazing! I got it, Mum. Thank you.
I got it.
Did you see it?
One last one.
No, I didn't. I got it!
Well, you took over
I was
from
getting
me.
expert direction.
Daddy, I got it.
Oh.
Mummy.
No, what do you guys
Hey,
have?
well done.
Let Daddy have a go.
You go a bit higher. You go a bit higher. You haven't seen how poor my archery skills are, mate.
Oh, do you want to pinch the end of the arrow? Just
Yay!
well done, Zonda.
That's almost.
There we go. Nice.
Hey!
Good effort.
One more.
Ooh, she touched it.
Come on in. There you go.